over the line, and you don't want to take away the lead driver's line either.
And you don't want to go against the champ. So here's Simen OLSEN. He's going to give it all he's got. Again, 2 Norwegian drivers, 2 Supra, but which one's going to lead? Fredrik Castro gets all the way out there, baby. Ooh, look at that. Right under the bridge. Fredrik Castro. This is why he's your defending champion. That confidence making its way from 21 to 22. Look at Simen OLSEN. He's right there. That looked like a bumper. Don't know if he saw any tire treads go into that. Like, speechless.
The little extra something that makes a driver stand out from the rest.
Dope. Here we go. Simen OLSEN. He's going to lead, but guess what? He's got that gold nose Toyota GR Supra in his rearview mirror. Here we go. Look at that, dropping into formation. There goes Simen out to the outside. Oh, he taps. He comes back. That's going to hurt him, unfortunately. So as Simen OLSEN gets disrupted, bashes in that great-looking Supra, Fredrik Castro, you know what? I think he was just like, okay, you go ahead. He gave him a little bit of room, and that paid off because if he was...
The piece of artwork that I thought was funny is near the elevators, and it's like really generic NASCARs.
NASCARs, yeah.
Yeah, it's the weirdest looking NASCARs I've ever seen. Here we go. Dan Burkett and Simen OLSEN. Dan Burkett leads with that number 4 qualifying position. I got to tell you, Burkett looking really strong yesterday. Can he continue that success? Now coming to that second outside zone. Look at that. And that's what I'm talking about. Dan Burkett. Simen OLSEN all up in that smoke cloud. Continues the proximity, but Dan Burkett is, I mean, that's probably the best I've seen Dan Burkett.
Between him and OLSEN in the chase position, and mimic what he's doing, and he'll prevail there in the chase-to-chase comparison at least.
Yeah, the way Dan was driving out front, if he gets even just a glimmer of that in the chase, I really think he's going to shine here and get the win. But Simen OLSEN coming to us from Norway, he doesn't want to pack up his stuff just yet. Again, Norwegian Drift Championship competitor. Coming down that second outside zone, Simen OLSEN, oh, a lot in the dirt there. But look at Dan Burkett, the composure there from Burkett. He almost took himself out, but that's a hard act to follow. You saw how far Simen OLSEN went off the course.
He wants to get through this battle, but Simen OLSEN would absolutely be elated if he got through, and a lot of other drivers would be elated taking down this giant. Fredrik Castro, Norwegian Hammer. All right, oh, and Simen OLSEN on initiation shuts her down. The Boost Race Fuel Toyota Supra shuts it down on initiation. Fredrik Castro continues on through the course. Right on that inside clip, and now coming to that final outside zone. Looks like the car's definitely got power, just didn't have power for your current points leader, Fredrik, the Norwegian Hammer Castro, and the Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra.
He's got that Boost Race Fuel, a Norwegian Drift champion coming us from Norway, Nick Novak. Coming us from Las Vegas, Coral Works, GT Radial, BMW, Nick Novak. That big BMW. Nick Novak brings it on in. Nice job by Novak and Simen OLSEN. Look, you can see that proximity, but doesn't get in the pocket. Looks like he's exceeding the BMW. Now coming into that last outside zone. You can see Novak right there. Again, this is reminiscent of, you know, many moons ago. The OE engine, far from OE, but the OE power plant essentially stroked out fully. Papadakis, kind of the Grecian mad scientist, thank you. As Simen OLSEN now comes in that second outside zone, and Nick Novak, he's bringing Nick Novak back. Hopefully he has his receipt. Or otherwise he's going to get a store credit here. As Simen OLSEN comes in that last outside zone, and Novak does have those 2 tires off, not 3. So imagine where that striped area is. If there was 2J powered Royal Purple Falcon tires, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Dylan Hughes Racing, BMW. There we go. Dylan Hughes out front, who qualified 5th yesterday. A great showing for him. Initiates high on the bank. Simen OLSEN, he's going to need to mimic that angle. He does get close. That great carbon Kevlar HGK kitted Supra, big angle from Dylan, almost going the outside of the track. That would be essentially be like kind of a deduction, not an incomplete. Simen, you can see him kind of clamoring, lunging forward, but needs to mimic that angle. Gets close there, I like that towards the latter portion, but just a little. Some great insight there from Ryan Lontaine. If you're just tuning in, we are not even halfway through our top 32. Here goes Simen OLSEN. Again, from Norway in that 2JZ-powered Toyota Supra, the all-new Supra. Dylan Hughes, you can see him kind of kick back a little bit, and now he comes up. Simen OLSEN, great job right now. Let's see what we got here coming to that power alley. Throw some more angle at it. Dylan Hughes into that third outside zone. Looks like Simen OLSEN definitely got some confidence in between that. Oh, boingo!
Wow.
Wow, bing bong, there we go. Dylan Hughes jumps up. Let's see what we got here from Jones and Olson. Run one here in the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. And Jones initiates 96.7 miles per hour, tight on that inside clip. Simen OLSEN, you kind of see him sliding on by, losing some ground into that second outside zone. Taking the tighter line is Olson. Now Jones into that final outside zone. Olson, you can see him putting that back right in. Doesn't hold on to it, but Jones will be Simen OLSEN from Norway, Jeff Jones from Southern California, Los Angeles. Here we go. Olson and Jones. Jones pacing him on initiation. Olson initiates. Jones, kind of a little delayed initiation there compared to what Olson did. Now Jones comes into that second outside zone. Olson wavers into that second inside clip, does a good job now into that final outside zone. Olson looking a lot more confident out front. You could just see, but the 2J under the hood of Simen OLSEN and his boost race fuel, a Norwegian drift champion. And it looks like Castro might have left early. Oh no! So that was not a false start. Unfortunately for Castro, that was his start, and that was not driver to join the other 7 in the Grade 8. And remember, Castro left the line, but unfortunately came to a halt. That was his run, so he's sitting on incomplete. Simen OLSEN could enter into the Grade 8 for the first time. Oh, look at Castro. You can see him shimming his way in that chase position. Simen OLSEN fills that first outside zone, the second outside zone, a Norwegian trip champion coming to us from Norway, piling that 2JZ boost race fuel. Supra, look at Castro. This is what he needs to do, but I think it's gonna be too little too late. Some shimming in that chase position and brings it across the line. Masayama qualified 19th compared to Masayama qualified 22nd. That boost race fuel Norwegian driver. We're gonna have 2 Norwegians in the finals, or we're gonna have 2 Japanese drivers. Here we go. Simen OLSEN initiates. Wataru Masayama right there on the door of that all-new Toyota Supra, transitioning into that second outside zone. A little bit of checkup there. Masayama keeps composure. And now coming into that final outside zone, Masayama, the Buy Now Japan S15 into that last outside zone. Simen OLSEN does not get all the way out there. Masayama falls and tracks him down. Mother Nature is just shining bright like a diamond in the face. Again, blinded by the light. Here we go. Masayama out front. Simen OLSEN giving chase, initiating. You see that big angle, a little bit of handbrake there coming in, massaging it into that inside clip, into the first outside zone. Simen OLSEN falls back. Now how is Masayama going to handle this inside clip? Could have been a little closer. Simen OLSEN tightens it up. Now coming at the last outside zone. Masayama all the way out there. Look at that, right on that razor's edge. Maybe picked up a Simen OLSEN, we've seen him in here for a couple years. A Norwegian drift champ, driving that boost race fuel, 2JZ powered Supra. So again, the comfort level can push you regardless. He throws a 97. He talked about that earlier with the red nickel, past that first inside clip. So quite a contrast here going to these guys. Oh, Simen OLSEN, big correction. Probably got lost in that smoke. The sun, not as much of a factor. It's tucked behind some clouds, but now, speaking of clouds, here's a cloud of smoke in your face, Simen, as Ken Gushi rounds out that final outside zone.
drift competition. Gucci, we saw him on top of the box most recently at Irwindale a couple years ago. Can he do it again? His all-new build, debuted in Atlanta, GT86. Here we go, Simen OLSEN, 2JZ, boost race fuel, Toyota Supra, 96.8, going to that inside clip, dials it in, it's going to that first outside zone. Second outside zone goes Olson. Gucci just a bit shy, just a bit short. Now coming into that second clip. Nice shot by Olson. Gucci with a wide swing. Can he bring it back? And it looks like Gucci falling back a considerable amount.